Imagine waking up to pitch black darkness. The world outside your window is silent. No hum of traffic, no buzz of notifications, no voices pulling you into someone else's agenda. Your clock glows 5 a.m. Most people would slam the snooze button, burrow deeper into their blankets, and dream on. But today you decide not to. Today you rise. I'm not a natural early bird. I treasure my sleep, cherish my late nights, and consider the snooze button my closest ally. Yet for 7 days straight, I forced myself out of bed at 5 a.m. No excuses, no snoozes, no mercy. Here's the complete unfiltered voiceover of exactly what went down, how it felt, and why it might just change your life too. Day 1, shock to the system. My first alarm blared at 4:55. I fumbled for the phone, half asleep, and winged it across the room. Alarm number 2 screamed at 5 o'clock, jolting me to awareness. My heart pounded, my muscles ached, and my bed felt like quicksand. By the third alarm at 5:05, I was fully awake, but not by choice. I dragged myself to the kitchen, hands trembling, and brewed the blackest coffee I could muster. Steam rose in spirals, and for a moment, the world made sense again. I sat in the dark kitchen, coffee warming my bones, listening to the soft click of the drip machine and the distant chirp of a lone cricket. No phone to distract me, just the gentle promise of dawn. I opened my journal and wrote 3 whole pages of stream of consciousness. Rambling thoughts, to-dos, random ideas I'd been burying under notifications. Then I prepared a simple breakfast, oatmeal with berries, the kind that forces you to slow down, to taste each spoonful. By 7 a.m., I had more done than I usually manage by 10. I'd outlined tasks, answered a few emails, and even read a couple pages of a self-help book. Yet by 3 p.m., exhaustion slammed into me like a freight train. My eyelids drooped, my focus vanished, and I hit that mid-afternoon slump harder than ever. Lesson 1. Waking at 5 a.m. without adjusting your bedtime is a recipe for self-inflicted torture. Day 2, the sleep debt hangover. I ignored my own advice and stayed up late scrolling through social media. One more video turned into 3 and my phone became my vice until midnight. At 5 a.m., my alarm felt like an assault. I slammed the snooze twice, then finally dragged myself out of bed, every limb heavy as lead. My head throbbed, and I contemplated crawling back under the covers. But I had a plan. 5 minutes of stretching, a glass of water, and a cold shower to shock my system. The cold water stung my skin, but it woke me up fully. I threw on workout clothes and tackled a quick HIIT session. 10 brutal minutes that left me gasping, heart racing. It felt like earning my first victory of the day. By mid-morning, something surprising happened. Despite the hangover, I'd already leveled up on tasks I usually avoid until noon. Emails cleared, content drafted, laundry started. The paradox was clear. Even when you're exhausted, those early hours are like bonus time, but you pay it back in full interest if you sacrifice sleep. Lesson 2, respect your night if you want to conquer your morning. Day 3, owning the night to own the morning. Determined to break the cycle, I overhauled my bedtime routine. At 9:30 p.m., I powered off screens. No dimming blue light, no late night texts. At 9:35, I sipped chamomile and lavender tea, its warmth smoothing away tension. By 9:45, I was reading a physical book, no glowing screens, just the soft feel of paper. At 10 p.m., lights out. When my 5 a.m. alarm sounded, I still grimaced, but I didn't hit snooze. Instead, I lay in bed for a moment, breathing deeply. 5 deliberate inhales, 5 slow exhales. Then I reached for my journal and asked a single question. How do I want today to feel? I scribbled calm, focused, creative. That tiny intention shifted everything. I made a green smoothie, spinach, banana, almond milk, and noticed how the ritual of blending and sipping set a purposeful tone. No frantic gulping, no phone checking. By 9 a.m., my energy was steady, my mood bright. I glided through tasks with a surprising calm. Lesson 3, a powerful morning starts the night before. Day 4, flow state unlocked. On day 4, I woke up before my alarm, something I never thought possible. The air was crisp as I stepped outside for a 20-minute walk. No headphones, no podcasts, just my footsteps on pavement and the slow awakening sky. I watched hues of pink and orange seep across the horizon and felt a quiet quiet reverence for the new day. Back inside, I moved into a 10-minute yoga flow, cat-cows, downward dogs, gentle twists to wake up my spine. Then I sat at my desk and spent 5 minutes visualizing my biggest goals as if they were already real. I pictured the finish line, the sense of achievement, the relief. My heart warmed with motivation. Breakfast was oatmeal with fresh berries and a drizzle of honey, fuel that grounded me in the moment. Then I dove into a 90-minute no-phone deep work session on my most important project. No distractions, no multitasking, just undisturbed focus. By lunchtime, I'd knocked out more than I usually manage in 2 full afternoons. It felt less like work and more like creative play. Lesson 4. The secret isn't just the hour, it's the undisturbed space that hour provides. Day 5, when discipline slips. I got cocky on day 5. Just one more episode, I told myself. My phone's pull proved too strong, and before I knew it, I was scrolling until midnight again. When 5 a.m. rolled around, I hit the snooze. Twice. When I finally got up, everything unraveled. I grabbed my phone first, scrolled through emails and social feeds, skipped the stretching and journaling, and barely registered my first cup of coffee. The rest of the day was a mess. I felt reactive, scattered, and frustrated. Every task felt like wading through molasses. That evening, as I flopped onto the couch, fatigue and guilt tangled in my chest, but the sting of failure lit a fire. I vowed to recommit. Lesson 5. Discipline isn't a single heroic act. It's a muscle you strengthen daily. Day 6. Rhythm restored. I reestablished my night routine with renewed respect. Phone on airplane mode at 9 p.m. Journal dump at 9:15 p.m. Sleep science podcast until 9:30 and lights out by 10. When the alarm chimed at 5 a.m., it felt almost gentle. I rolled out of bed with less resistance and started my routine. Today's tweak, a movement burst of 30 jumping jacks, 20 bodyweight squats, and 10 push-ups. It sent oxygen rushing to my brain and flushed away any lingering grogginess. Then, seated on the floor, I closed my eyes and breathed for 5 minutes. The contrast between the vigorous burst and the calm meditation was electric. Breakfast followed, Greek yogurt with granola and a handful of nuts, and I avoided my phone until after my workout. By mid-morning, my energy felt restored. My focus returned. I dedicated 2 hours to deep creative work, then switched to lighter tasks, riding the wave of morning clarity. Lesson 6. Small habits can reignite your routine. Day 7. The full circle awakening. The final morning arrived, and I woke at 4:58 without an alarm. My body clock had recalibrated. I resisted the urge to leap into tasks. Instead, I made tea, ginger, and mint, and watched the sky's palette shift from indigo to soft lavender and gold. No journal, no phone, no agenda, just presence. In that silence, I realized this experiment wasn't about 5 a.m. It was about ownership, taking control of my time, my choices, and my energy. My mornings had transformed from chaotic sprints into sacred rituals. I felt calmer, clearer, and more confident. What I learned attention over time. We all have 24 hours, but we often hand them away. The early quiet grants you first dibs on your attention. Use it wisely. Silence is sacred. There's magic in pre-dawn stillness. In those moments, you reconnect with your true priorities. Night builds the morning. Early rising without early rest is self-sabotage. Protect your evening routine like your morning depends on it, because it does. No phone for first 15. Skipping screens at the start preserves willpower and focus. Let your mind wake up organically. Discipline is daily. It's not a one-time act of will. It's a practice you cultivate day by day. Intentional habits. Trump time. You don't need 5 a.m. to benefit. You need undisturbed, intentional time at whatever hour suits your biology. Your 7-day challenge. Here's my challenge to you. Pick a wake-up time 30 minutes earlier than your usual. Commit to it for 7 days. No phone for the first 15 minutes. Breathe. Stretch. Journal one question. What do I choose to feel today? Then share your journey and biggest insight. Because real change emerges not from gimmicks, but from reclaiming your mornings. Moment by moment, choice by choice. If you're ready to own your day, set that alarm, protect your sleep, and prove you can do what most won't. Your future self will thank you.